Welcome to my channel for learning algorithmic problem solving. Session 2 covers algorithms and building blocks of algorithms. Algorithm is a sequence of unambiguous instruction that is for solving a problem, that is for obtaining a required output for any legitimate input in a finite amount of time. Informally, we can tell algorithm is a step-by-step procedure that perform a specific task. For a single problem, we can develop more than one algorithms, so that we have to follow some guidelines. The first and important one is we have to develop an algorithm in a clear, precise and well-defined manner. An algorithm should start with this keyword start, and we have to use the word stop for representing the termination of that algorithm, and we have to write each and every instruction in a separate line, and we have to give step number. Let us see one example algorithm for finding area of the circle. So here I am using the formula pi r square, so that I am getting the radius from the user, and for pi value I am assigning 3.14 into the variable pi, and the step number 4 I am actually applying that formula pi r square, so that I am using calculate the area is equal to pi into r. Then after calculating that, we have to display the result, so that I am using the line print area. And now my algorithm is over, so I am using the stop word to represent the termination of that algorithm. Now you can try to write algorithms for better understanding about the algorithm. The first one is same as the example I have shown. So here you have to apply the area of the triangle formula, and you can find the area of the triangle. And the second one, you have to find the sum of three numbers, so that you have to get three numbers as the input, and you just add it. Then you can show the total of the value. Then the third one, you have to write an algorithm to find the total and average marks of a student. So for that you have to get the name of the student from the user, and you can get the subject marks. Then you can use one variable total and add all the marks into the total. Then you can find the average of the marks. Next, let us see basic building blocks of algorithms. The statements, state, control flow and functions are the basic building blocks of algorithm. Let us see one by one. The first one is statement. So statement is nothing but instruction which is given to the computer, that we are telling that what the computer has to do. That is, all the normal instructions are considered as statement. Let us take this example. So here a is equal to 10 I am using. So the meaning is I have to assign the value of 10 to the variable a. That is, I am instructing the computer to assign the value 10 to the variable a. Then the second instruction, print a. The meaning is I am asking the computer to print the value of a. So all the commands given to the computers are considered as instruction, because we are writing the instruction, that is step-by-step instructions for developing the algorithm, so that this statement is the basic building block of algorithm. A state can be denoted as a transition from one process to another process within a particular amount of time. We can consider this instruction initially the value of a, that is the state of a is 10. Then after executing the instruction a is equal to a plus 5, then now the state of a is changed from 10 to 15. So this is the transition from one state to another state. Control flow represents the order in which the statements are executed. It can be classified into three. In a sequence control flow, all the instructions are executed one by one, and each and every instructions are executed exactly once. This is an example of sequence statement. So here we can use multiplication of two numbers. For that we need to take two numbers a and b, and we have to perform multiplication on it, and we have to store the result into the variable c. Then we have to print the value C. So here all the instructions are executed one by one in a linear order. The next is selection control flow. So here the control statements are executed based on some condition, and if the condition is true, a part of the code will be executed, and if it is false, another one part of the code will be executed. Not like the sequence control flow. Here some of the instructions are executed. So let us see this example. We have to find whether the particular person is eligible for vote or not. So for that we can take the condition as age should be greater than or equal to 18. So first I am reading the age from the user. Then I am checking if the age is greater than 18. If it is true, we can print the person is eligible to vote. Otherwise we can print the person is not eligible to vote. So here, based on this condition, one of the print statement is executed. Not all the statements are executed. This is another example for selection statement. So here we have to compare three numbers and we have to find the greatest among the three numbers. So that I am taking three values A, B and C. Then we have to perform the comparison. So here first the number A is compared with B, and if it is true, then only we can move on to the step number 4 and compare the A value with C. And again it is true means we can print A is greatest, otherwise we can print C is greatest. Then if the condition is false in the step number 3, we can skip the step number 4 and we can move on to the step number 5. And here I am comparing B with the C. And if B is greater, we can print B is the greatest, otherwise we can print C is the greatest. So here nested conditions are appear in the selection statement. Then in some situation, a single statement or group of statements have to be executed again and again. So in that situation, we are going for this iteration statement. Other name of this is looping statement or repetition statement. So let us take this example. We have to print the sum of natural numbers. That is, we have to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n number. So that we can go for iteration control flow. That is, here the actual operation we have to perform is addition. That is, we are performing a repeated addition on some sequence of numbers. So that we have to get the n value from the user, that is the ending value. And for iteration statement, the two things we have to consider. First one is the initial value, and second one is the termination condition. So here I am setting the initial value as 1, that is I as 1, and I am using the condition I less than or equal to n. Then this is the termination condition of the loop. So if you are not providing the termination condition, the loop will be go indefinitely. So the thing is important, we have to give the termination condition in the loop. So here I am giving the termination condition is I less than or equal to n. So until the condition becomes false, the set of statements will be executed repeatedly. So here I am using two statements inside the loop that is represented in step number 4.1 and 4.2. So here I am using the addition operation, sum is equal to sum plus I. That is, I have to add 1 with 2, then 2 with 3, then 3 with 4. Likewise, I have to perform some repeated addition, so that I am initializing the sum as 0. Then I am adding the values one by one. Then I have to reach the end statement by giving some manipulation on the initial value, so that I am using increment the value of I by 1. So these two steps, 4.1 and 4.2, are the subsets or the block of codes that is to be repeated based on the condition. So once the condition becomes false, we can come out of the loop and we can move on to the step number 5, and where I am giving the statement print the value of sum, so that the final sum will be printed on the screen. So likewise, if you want to repeat something, a single statement or a group of statement, we can go for iteration control flow. This is the graphical representation of control flow statement. The first one shows the sequence statement. Here all the instructions are executed one after another, and the selection statement based on the condition, any one of the instruction is executed. And in looping statement, Based on the condition, a statement or group of statements are executed repeatedly until the condition becomes false. Once we reach the false state, the control will come out of the loop. And this is the last building blocks of algorithm. Function. Function is a subprogram which contains a group of instruction that is used to perform a particular task. The main thing is the given complex problem can be divided into smaller subproblems so that we can take the solution for the smaller problem and we can combine the solution and we can get the solution for the complex problem. So here we are dividing the given complex problem into smaller and simpler tasks. These are the benefits of using function. The first benefit is it will reduce the program size, because the complex program is divided into smaller functions, so that we can reduce the program development time also, and it will improve the code reusability. That is, for a particular task you can create the code once, and whenever needed we can just call the code. No need to write the code again, so that you can reuse the code. And the given problem is divided into smaller submodules, so that it will improve the readability of the program, and it makes as to debug the program and testing the program as a simple process. And the given complex problem is made up of smaller problems, so that it will improve the maintainability of the program. Let us see one example. Algorithm for addition of two numbers using function. So this is the way of writing algorithms using function. The first thing, I am using the main function. Here just I am calling the function add, and the actual addition process is kept inside the function named as add. So here we can use this open and close base to represent the function. So for addition we can get two values, and we perform the addition, and we can store the result into C. Then we can print the C, and if you want the result to the original function, that is the main function, we can use the return statement. So in your program, if you want to perform addition anywhere, you just call this function. At one location you can write this code. You can keep the name of the code as add, and whenever you need to perform addition, you just call this function. No need to write this code again and again in your program. So that is the main advantage of using function. So let's end the session 2. I hope the session was useful to you. Thanks for watching.